Well, hello Andrew again.
Hey, Chukwon, how are you?
Well, the tournament is here, and so far all I've heard was have been great comments about the golf course, how wonderfully conditioned it is, and kudos to you. I played with Henrik Stenson the other day, and he said it was his first time playing at Sentosa, at the Serapong, and he said this is a tough course, very respectable, and I guess coming from a champion like Stenson, that's really saying something.
Wow, certainly is. That sure makes me feel good.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about this golf superintendent program that you've got running this week of the Barclays Singapore Open.
Sure. This week during the Barclays Singapore Open, we started something brand new, a superintendent program where we've invited other superintendents and assistant superintendents from the region to come help out in tournament preparations. We have about 42 to 45 participants that came and volunteered with us. Not all turned out to be superintendents. Some actually are in the golf business. They were former superintendents, or they were in the bowling green industry or the landscape industry. And we have some that are mechanics at other golf courses. It's a good marriage of a bunch of different talents that we were able to capture. About 32 of them turned out to be superintendents. We had over 50 on the list, but when it came down to the actual week, some actually couldn't make it or had some issues come up at their properties and ended up having to cancel. But it was a really good week. We had 4 great educational classes during the week for the guys that came down. The idea was learn tournament preparations, participate with us during tournament preparations, and during the day when we're off the golf course and it's being used, we set up some classes for the guys so they could experience tournament setup and get some education from some really top speakers and topics around the world.
Fantastic. And how many countries did it come from?
Oh gosh, I counted it up and I've forgotten, but I think we have 13 countries.
Really? For example, I mean, obviously
Australia, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia. I think we have some from Indonesia, U.S.
U.S.
Yes. So we have a variety of people that came.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the setup for this for the tournament. How involved were you or Sentosa? What sort of parameters could you put on the golf course that where you guys decide on the conditioning?
Well,
like the length of the rough, was it decided by you where the holes would be?
Sure. Well, we work closely with the 2 tours, the European Tour and the Asian Tour, in tournament preparations all year. They will make periodic site visits during the year where we will look at conditions and have discussions on height of grass, playing conditions, what their goals are, and what our goals are. We see this as the Asian major. So we see this as an event where we want to provide top conditions, the best conditions that we possibly can, that compete with other world major conditions. The European Tour and the Asian Tour, really they both respect that, but they also have a tournament to run. So you can, there's 2 sides to that coin. You can get the golf course too difficult, where it slows play down, and it could cause some playability problems. So there's a marriage between how fast are the greens, how long is the rough, and we're not always on the same page. But at the end of the day, we find a compromise.
Okay. Do you decide on the speed of the greens?
We do not decide on the speed of the greens. That's done by the tournament director.
Okay. As well as the position of the holes.
And the position of the holes, the length of each hole, how they set it up. Sometimes they'll play it up or they'll play it back. For instance, the new number 6. They're playing it from the forward tee for the first 2 days till the cut is made. After the cut is made, they'll take it to the new longer.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. Right. The other thing is that people talk about speed of the greens. That everybody wants to get it fast, but it's got to be more than that than just getting the speed up. The greens have to react in a certain way as well. Right? I mean, shed some light on that for us?
They do. They do. I mean, it's a living, breathing thing. So there's a delicate line of taking it too far, and we're close to that this week, and that usually happens in a big event. Green speed is one issue, but plant health is also another issue. Tuesday we took a big hit. We had a 42.9 millimeter storm event, and that really impacted our ability to, it softened up the surface, and it made the leaf fatter again, which contributes to a little bit of a slower speed. We're just about back to where we were on Monday.
Okay.
Today, as far as the firmness of the surface and the speed, and conditions can do that to you occasionally. But we're running fairly good today. And the trick is consistency. So Thursday's speed was 12.2 in the morning, so that means Friday's speed needs to be 12.2 in the morning, because the field switches. Everybody has to play every golf hole, and there's 36, there's 2 golf courses in this event, so you can't have it faster one day after the next for it to be fair. As we go through the cut, and hopefully there's not a weather delay where we end up on a Saturday preparation, because that will affect how we set up the golf course again. But if we end the event today with a true cut, we can then address speed a little different tomorrow.
Okay. With 2 golf courses for the first 2 rounds, that's got to be even more difficult for you and your team to get things in tip-top condition, aren't it?
It's a big chore. It certainly is, and we spend a lot of hours doing it. The 75 men and women that we have at Golf Maintenance, plus our volunteer team, has spent, well, let's put it this way, we arrive at 4 in the morning. We work until about 9:30 in the morning, when we give the golf course to the event, hole by hole. They start playing at 7:30, so we're working in front of them. We get the golf course back usually about 1:30, and we'll work from 1:30 till, it varies based on what we really need to work on, but from 1:30 till about 10:30 to even up as far as up to 2 in the morning.
Wow.
And making preparations perfect. We'll get a little sleep.
You have floodlights, you bring floodlights onto the golf course?
We absolutely do. We light it up. We have so much equipment to, and that's a good point, because we're working in the dark in the morning and in the evening, and work safety is a big factor. So we do have a lot of neat equipment that does light things up.
Well, you guys are the unsung heroes of this tournament. I want to congratulate you once again for a fantastic condition and playing surface for some of the best players in the world this week, and all the best for the rest of the week.
Well, thank you very much, and that's much appreciated. Thank you.
Cheers.